this shrinkage is actually disrespectful. Like, what the actual heck? Hi, bestie. Welcome to part 2 of answering questions from my comment section. If you haven't seen episode 1, I do not like why. Anyway, don't worry. I will link it in the description, and it's also going to be in the end card. So make sure you watch this video to the end and then go and watch part 1, because I'm answering some really important questions that I've been spotting and saving up from my comment section. So if you have any question about anything that I say in a video, or anything I'm going to say in this video, or anything about haircare at all, please feel free to drop it in the comments so that you just might make it into this series. Anywho, without further ado, let's get into this video. All right, comment number 1. Please, can you recommend a good shampoo and conditioner for me? Amazing. Okay, so the thing about recommending shampoo is that almost any shampoo is fine, because shampoo is something that you wash your hair, you rinse it out. The only problem with shampoos, like the only problem I can possibly find with shampoo, is when you actually use a shampoo and it starts to tangle up your hair. So with that being said, here are some shampoos that I've used recently and I absolutely love. And this is coming from somebody with really thick natural hair, so it's very easy for shampoo to trip me up on a wash day. But these shampoos that I'm about to show you, go tos. So the first one is this one from Beauty Express Hair Shop. This is their hair and scalp moisturizing shampoo. This shampoo, from the smell to the texture, it has a very thick texture, and it lathers up so well. It doesn't contain sodium lauryl sulfate, if that is something that trips you up. So yeah, this shampoo absolutely amazing. This one is a bit more recent. This is from BK Organics. It's their black soap moisturizing shampoo. I've only used it once, but the experience was really good. Very moisturizing, very softening. Like, I could literally run my fingers through my hair with this shampoo in my hair. So amazing shampoo, right? I actually tried their whole line on this wash day, but I didn't do like a full wash day video. I don't know, I need to get back to doing full wash day videos on YouTube soon, very soon. So when it comes to shampoos, these are the 4 shampoos that I have used recently and that I love. But these are in a higher budget range. Like, you have to budget like 5,000, 6,000 for these shampoos. If you are looking for a more budget option, I would recommend the Mega Growth shampoo. That one is very soothing on the scalp. It never really stripped my hair when I was using it. The only thing that some people might not like is that it contains sodium lauryl sulfate. But then again, even if sodium lauryl sulfate is so stripping, which it really didn't even strip my hair like that, you are going to follow up with a deep conditioner or a leave-in conditioner anyway. So just like sharply wash your hair and then move on to the next step and you'll be fine, I promise. So now you sell shampoo and conditioner. The thing is, for all of these brands here, I've tried their conditioners. Some brands like this one, they have deep conditioner, they have leave-in conditioner, they have protein treatments. Essentially, if you're buying their shampoo, just buy their conditioner with it, because it feels absolutely amazing. Okay, I've tried all of their products from all of the different brands, and their conditioners are just as good as their shampoos, so you can try any one of them. Then again, these are rather high budget, so if you are on a lower budget, Mega Growth is the only other one that I can recommend to you, that I know that I've tried and I really, really like. I know that there are so many others like Cream of Nature and ORS, but I've not tried any of those ones before. So if you're asking me for a personal recommendation, these are the ones that I can recommend. I actually have a product recommendation sheet linked in my description. Like, if you go in my description right now and you look under resources, you see the product recommendation sheet. So you can go and you can check that out. I've listed out a whole bunch of things. Although this brand is really recent, I've not added it to the sheet yet, but there are other options on there as well for different budgets. So you can go and look it up. Comment number 2. Can I use Mega Growth Detangler? Have you tried it? I think the Mega Growth Detangler you're talking about is their detangling conditioner, the one that comes together with the shampoo in a pack. And yes, I have tried that conditioner before, albeit quite a while ago. I'm talking like 2 years ago is when I last used that conditioner. So when I used it, it was nice. I mean, you can use it to detangle your hair before washing if your hair is that dry. You can use it as a conditioner after washing as well. Just like put it in your hair, treat it like a deep conditioner. Honestly, It's the same thing. And I do remember enjoying it. So, like, if that's what's available to you, sure, go ahead, give it a try. And do let me know when you try it. Let me know if the formula is still up to par, because I'm over here hyping it now, but who knows? It may have changed the formula in the last 2 years. So please update me in the comments. Let me know if the formula is still, still doing well, still standing strong. All right, comment number 3. I love your videos and I try to follow and understand as much as possible. But for the most part, you are speaking way too fast. So I'm sure a lot of your audience miss a lot. At least I do. Could you please practice speaking a little slower? Thank you and God bless. I talk fast. It has never occurred to me that I talk fast. In fact, sometimes when I'm editing my videos, I try to speed up my talking because I just feel like I'm drawing. Like I feel like I talk really slowly. But I talk fast. Okay, maybe I'll stop speeding up my videos then and just allow you to listen to my draw. Or at least it sounds like a draw to me. I know, like right now I'm talking really fast because I'm basically just answering questions off the top of my head. When it's a scripted video, I do used to talk very slowly because I'm literally reading off a script. But when I'm talking from my head, I see what you mean by I talk a little fast. Okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, I'm gonna try to talk a little slower. I can't promise anything, but I will try. Comment number 4. Sis, ever since I started following you, I'm at peace in my natural hair journey. Thank you. I have made a year, but I'm seeing progress. Amazing, okay? Progress in the natural hair community has been so overblown with everybody saying, oh, you can grow 2 inches overnight or you can grow 10 inches in a month. But that is really unrealistic. In fact, I would like to call it a bold face lie. You cannot grow 10 inches of hair in 1 month. If you like, eat all the gummies. If you like, rub all the DIY. It's not gonna, in 1 month. Yeah, I'd like to see you try. And a lot of the time, the people that are telling you that you can do this, if you look at their own hair, it's not touching the ground. Somebody that is growing 10 inches of hair every month, and they've been growing their hair for 1 year, their hair is supposed to be 10 times 12. Their hair is supposed to be 120 inches, supposed to be on the floor. But look at the hair of the person that is telling you that rubbish. Is it on the floor? No, it's not. That's what I thought. Anyway, she says, now I want you to advise on that issue of leave-in conditioner. I want to know how many minutes should I take to add oil or butter after applying leave-in conditioner. Okay, first of all, I like that you've already applied leave-in conditioner before you start taking of oil and butter because some people have it mixed up until now. I really thought this was common knowledge until recently. Some people don't know that leave-in conditioner goes first, right? So leave-in conditioner is the moisturizer. It's the thing that contains water, moisture, the moisturizing ingredients, right? So leave-in conditioner goes first, and then you follow up and seal with an oil or a butter. I personally prefer butters because I have oily skin. I have oily scalp. Like my scalp gets really greasy really quickly. I don't really like to do too much with oil. It breaks me out. Like I'm currently battling a lot of breakouts around my hairline and I've stopped oiling my scalp for like 2 months now. For me, I don't really do oil, but I do butters. Okay, I recently moisturized my hair, so this is still here. This peppermint hair butter from BK Organics, and if you look at it, it's not even those kind of greasy butters that is just shea butter, mango butter, and all the butters mixed together, just one big thick oil. Nah, this is moisture butter. Okay, the first ingredient in this is literally glycerin, and water is the third ingredient. So this is a proper moisture butter, and this is what I use to seal my hair. But to each their own. If oil is the thing that you love to use, sure. Now, about this question that says how many minutes should you wait, I don't think there is a time that you should wait. Usually, at least for me, on wash day after I've shampooed and I've deep conditioned and I've rinsed out the deep conditioner, I just want to like moisturize my hair and go to bed. And so after I have applied the leave-in conditioner like this, as I apply it finish like this, I've carried butter. Follow up immediately. I don't waste time. Okay, so I don't think there is a certain amount of time that you need to wait between leave-in conditioner and the next step. I hope that answers your question. Comment number 5. Good morning, Lamide. What could cause hair thinning? Very straight to the point. Love that. Okay, so hair thinning, right? There are a lot of factors that could cause hair thinning, from health to stress to diet There's so many things that could cause hair thinning. Usually, hair loss is one of the first symptoms that your body presents when it is under stress or when it is fighting some very serious internal battles. If you look up the symptoms of some of the more serious diseases like diabetes or autoimmune diseases like lupus, hair loss is usually there because your body is a system, right? It's not just one organ, it's a whole system, and it kind of has an order of priority that it arranges your organs. So things like the heart and the brain are way up there. Then there's the kidney, there's the lungs, there's the the pancreas and all these major organs, right? So things like hair on your head or your armpit or anyway, things like hair growth and all those kind of things, they are usually secondary. Like they're just things that your body does because it just does. But when things start to get seriously wrong with some of your major organs, then your body has to redistribute, those nutrients and that blood flow. So instead of all that blood flowing, to your head to grow hair, all of that, well, not all of it, but more resources are being redirected to the more primary organs. And so when something is seriously wrong, kidney disease, liver disease, hair is one of the first things to start falling as because your body is not prioritizing it anymore. So again, your health very important. Then another thing that can cause it is hormonal imbalances, which also kind of ties to health. That is why a lot of women experience postpartum hair loss because after pregnancy, after childbirth, your hormones are all over the place. So your body is scrambling to heal the wound in your uterus that is the size of a dinner plate, to restabilize your body after it has expelled the child. Your body is scrambling to get back to what it used to be. So things like hair again, not prioritized at all. So that is why it starts to fall out because your body is busy doing a bit more important things. Then there's also mechanical hair loss. So maybe you are doing a lot of styles that are tight back to back. That's why I don't advise anybody to be doing things like box braids, feed in cornrows, or Ghana weaving back to back. Okay, that constant tension is going to start pulling at your hair, and then eventually your follicles are just going to give up. Like your hair follicle is the root, like the root of your hair is inside your hair follicle, and it's trying to grow this hair, and you keep tugging at it, keep pulling it with that tension. At one point, it's just going to let go. If you are constantly like putting your scalp under tension like that, then you might just be, kick starting your hair loss slash hair thinning journey. There's also diet because other than increased blood flow and everything, there are some minerals, nutrients that also help with the growing of hair. From protein, which helps with the production of I think keratin and biotin and all those kind of things, right? So if you're not eating or ingesting enough of those things, then there is nothing for your hair to use to grow. You get, because again, your body is a system. The major organs, if there's only enough protein and biotin and keratin for the major organs, best believe it's going to go to the major organs. And if there's nothing left for your hair, well, whoopsie daisy. So yeah, there's so many different factors, there's so many things that you can check when your hair suddenly starts thinning. And that's why I have such a beef with all these people that will just come and say, oh, is your hair thinning? Just mix rosemary and clove and all will be well. You don't even know what is causing your hair to thin. What if somebody is there? God forbid it's not you in Jesus' name. But what if somebody is there and early signs of lupus have started to develop, and your body is beginning to give you warnings like hair loss, and instead of you to go to the hospital to go and catch this thing early so that you can start treating it, no, you're there, you're in your kitchen, you're mixing rosemary and clove. You're saying no, we'll fight this naturally. So yeah, those are the causes of hair loss that I know about because I'm actually not an expert. I'm not a trichologist or anything, but those are the ones that come to mind because I've been in this natural hair space for a long time. I've researched it again, and those are just like the most common, most major causes of hair thinning. So I hope I answered your question. Comment number 6, and this is going to be the last one. And I feel like I need to provide like a little bit of context for this one. So this one is under, I think, one of my Olamide Reacts videos where I'm talking about how, some brands will just lie. They'll just blatantly lie in their marketing just to get people to want their products and to get people to buy their products. And I was trying to debunk it, like, if you buy these oils, these sprays, these herbal, all these things, nothing special is going to happen. Your hair growth rate is still going to be your hair growth rate. The length of your anagen stage or your active hair growth phase is not going to change. Okay, nothing drastic, nothing miraculous, nothing amazing is going to happen because you bought miracle hair growth oil, because it's a lie and they are selling you hopes and dreams, right? So I was basically saying that in the video, and then this person now goes and comments, is it not better if nothing happens after using than the hair starts falling out? Now, I'm not entirely sure what she means by than the hair falling out, because, again, like I just said, if your hair is falling out, then it is a number of different things, none of which has anything to do with herbs or rosemary oil or clove water. It has nothing to do with that. And then why are you saying it's better than nothing happens after you finish buying miracle hair growth oil for 15K? Is this how you're like? Do you have 15K to waste like that in this economy? Because I don't understand. What pisses me off about these brands that do these things is just the false marketing. They know that there's nothing special about this product, but then they come to platforms like TikTok, like Instagram and YouTube, and say, if you buy this oil, miracle upon miracle, hopes upon dreams, and then they'll just go and just patch together some very shady looking videos of people with long hair from all around the internet that have probably never even interacted with the product before. They'll pack all those videos together, they will add some text or some voiceover on top of it, and bam, everybody in the comments, where can I buy? Do you ship to this? Do you ship to here? Do you ship to there? Maybe you guys just have money to spend, sharp, but I think if you were really on a budget in this economy, you would think critically before you decide to spend money, right? Because there are just some things that you shouldn't really be falling for at this point. Like, at this point, how many miracle hair growth oils have you bought at this point that didn't do anything? And then somebody is marketing another one in almost the exact same way, because all of them, they market the product the exact same way. Some of them even steal content from each other. You see the same video on three different platforms that are selling three different oils, right? And you're still there, you're still believing, and you're still buying. It is not better than nothing should happen. If you're going to buy a product, you're buying a product with a purpose. This thing is supposed to do what it says it's supposed to do. It's like you guys are even encouraging them to falsely advertise, because they know that it's only if they falsely advertise that they will get people to buy. So it's just like a vicious cycle that I don't even know how I'm going to break it. But yeah, no, it is not better if nothing happens. It is not better. It's worse if you use the stuff and your hair starts to fall out. That's a whole other case. But if you buy the thing and then nothing happens, is that not still a waste of money? Like, how is it better? I beg you, please, let's not be allowing other people to lie to us. And then we're even giving them more boldness. We're empowering them to lie to us. Like, how now? Come on. Anyway, I hope that answers the question, or at least I hope that addresses that. All right, that is all the questions that I have for you in this video, because I don't want it to be super, super long. If you have any questions about anything that I said in this video, anything that I've said in any of my other videos, or just any random hair care questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will reply to your comments, but then I can still, do a whole video answering in more depth and detail. So if you have any questions, please, in the comments, I'm right there. Just ask me in the comments, okay? Don't forget to like this video and share it to anyone you feel that needs to watch it. And make sure you subscribe to this channel for more content. Finally, last thing before you go, part one. If you enjoyed this video, you are definitely going to enjoy part one. So make sure you go over here and watch it. Very, very interesting. I answered some very interesting questions in there. So make sure you go and check it out. And I'll see you over here. All right, bye.